State-based actions are game actions that happen when any set of improper conditions arise in the game. In simpler terms, state-based actions are things in the game of Magic that are checked all the time in the background. Now, we don't think about them much, but they're actually happening constantly under our noses. They're the rules the game follows even while we don't think about them. Let's make this really simple. Imagine state-based actions is a person sitting at the table with you during a game of Magic. Let's just call him SBA for short. SBA oversees the things going on during your game. For example, an opponent plays Toxic Deluge for 3, giving your creatures -3/-3. Your Knight of the Keep effectively becomes a 0/0. SBA sees this and stops the game saying, "Hold on, something's not right here." SBA examines the battlefield and determines that the Knight of the Keep has an improper toughness. The game does not allow for creatures that are 0/0s to exist by themselves, and therefore SBA determines that Knight of the Keep should be in the graveyard. Then SBA says, "Alright, everything seems to be in order, carry on." This is state-based actions. The game itself is saying, hey, that creature cannot have 0 toughness, therefore it must go to the graveyard. It's an improper condition that arises within the game. Now let's look at another example. The legend rule is a thing, and it makes it so you can only have one of a certain legendary creature at any given point. Say I make a copy of my Niv-Mizzet Perrin. SBA says, hey, Manfred, you already have a Niv-Mizzet Perrin, therefore you cannot have another one. I then choose which of my Niv-Mizzets to keep, and SBA determines that the one I didn't choose ceases to exist. Once again, the game itself is trying to rectify things it sees as improper. These are all very interesting because, like I said, they happen constantly under our noses, but they can really be hard to explain sometimes, and we kind of just skip over them because we already know what's going to happen anyway. You can also think of it as if you're playing Magic Arena. The game itself is performing actions in the background while we play in the foreground. To recap, state-based actions are game actions that happen when any of a set of improper conditions arise in the game. Rule 704.1 says, state-based actions are game actions that happen automatically whenever certain conditions are met. State-based actions don't use the stack. 704.2 states, state-based actions are checked throughout the game and are not controlled by any player. Imagine it as if the game itself owns these rules. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this gave you a brief, kind of easy to understand rundown of state-based actions that made some sort of sense. If you're interested, this video here, up there, lists every state-based action in the game of Magic the Gathering. Hopefully it helps. Now, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss your weekly dose of magic.